Trigonometric Functions Part 2. After watching this video, I will be able to find the missing side using trigonometric functions. In the previous lesson, we dealt with finding the missing angle when given a right triangle. So now we're going to find the missing side. So I still want to see what information is given to me in relation to my angle. So here's the angle given, 23 degrees. That means that this 11, the side with the 11, is the opposite side. The x is located on the hypotenuse, and the third side has no information given, is my adjacent. I'm also going to write my SOHCAHTOA because that helps me figure out what trig function I need to use. So now I'm going to see what information is given to me and what is not. There is no information on the adjacent side. There is no variable. There is nothing already there. So that means I do not care about the adjacent side at all. So the cosine deals with the adjacent, can't use it. Tangent deals with the adjacent, can't use it. So now I'm going to set up a ratio. So that means I need to use sine. And then I need to determine, do I have an angle measure given to me? In the previous lesson, there was no angle. It was an unknown, so that was my x. But now the angle is given. It's 23 degrees. So sine 23, I do not need x. And then it has to equal the opposite over hypotenuse. Well, what is my opposite side? My opposite side is where the 11 is. My hypotenuse is unknown. That is my x. And now I need to solve for x. So this may look very, very confusing, but let's remember that if I have a fraction, there's always an invisible 1. So I can set up two fractions, which means this is a proportion. So back in Algebra 1, we talked about proportions where you would cross multiply. So I would take this sine 23x times the x. So I'm just going to put x in front times sine of 23. And then remember, sine is just a number you press on your calculator and it goes together with a number. And this has to equal. Now I'm going to cross multiply again, so that's 1 times 11. Now if I'm trying to get x by itself and I'm currently multiplying x by sine of 23, I will do the inverse. So I will divide by sine 23. And what you do on one side, you do on another. So my signs cancel and I'm left with this large fraction, which at that point you would just go to your calculator. So sine of 11 over sine of 23 is going to equal 28.15. I'm going to round to the nearest tenth, so that means that 5 makes that one round up. So 28.2 degrees. Oh, I lied. Not degrees because we're finding the side measure, so it's just the side. Now you try. Find the missing side. Remember to round to the nearest tenth. So for the first step is you want to label your sides in relation to what you're talking about. Once you've labeled your sides, you also want to remember what are your trigonometric ratios. So I'm going to write out SOHCAHTOA. So now I'm going to decide which trig function do I need to use. And to do that, I'm just going to see which side, which hypotenuse, opposite or adjacent side, have no information, or I'm not trying to find information. So if I look at my hypotenuse side, there is nothing there. There is no variable, meaning I don't care what's the length of that side, and there is no information I can use to figure out my unknowns. So I don't care about a opposite. So sine is dealing with opposite, can't use it. Tangent uses opposite, Can't use it. So that means I have to use cosine. So next, I will set up a trig ratio with the information given. Once you set up your trig ratio, you're going to use your Algebra 1 skills to cross multiply and isolate x. So x is equal to 18 over the cosine of 19 degrees. At this point, you would go into your calculator to plug in the numbers and round your decimal. After you plug it in, your answer, your decimal will give you 19.03. Because we're rounding to the nearest tenth and 3 is less than 5, my final answer will be 19.0 or just 19. So correct answer is C.